Dexter New Blood wrapped up last night, and I have some thoughts. So, Dexter New Blood takes place 10 years after the events of the original series Dexter. And it's basically about, at the end of the show, the original show, he's went into self-imposed exile for bringing death to everyone he loves. And I didn't necessarily agree with that ending, but you work with what you're given. And in the show, this season, he hasn't killed in 10 years. So since the last show ended. And you get to see him, it's like an addict. It's like a drug addict. Where you force yourself to quit, and then it doesn't really stick, so you relapse harder. And you start to see him become unhinged. He's a little more careless than he used to be. And he's not really caring about what everyone is picking up around him. And it's noticeable, and it plays into the ending. But you get to see, like, he has a new girlfriend, he's got a new job, and all this other stuff. He's a whole new life. And then at the end of the first episode, his son shows up, obviously looking for answers, because after 10 years he hasn't seen his father. In fact, he thought he was dead. So Harrison, who's the son, gets his own plot in this season, and it's mostly about, does he have the dark urges that Dexter has? And obviously the answer is yes, because he experienced his mother dying in front of him like Dexter did. And they kind of play around with it, and the episode where Dexter figures it out is probably the best episode of the show, in my opinion. Like, that's where it peaks, and slowly it descends, but like not by much, so I didn't really think anything of it until you get to the last 20 minutes. So, to backtrack a little bit, Dexter's new girlfriend is the town sheriff. And slowly throughout the season, she starts to figure out that Dexter is a serial killer, I guess. And it just, there's these leaps that place everything back to the original show. And they're just like, they're not even like little leaps. They're massive leaps. And massive coincidences that take place in order to get you to that scenario in the last episode where he is in a jail cell. And that's fine. He was going to get caught, or he was going to die anyway. But it's those leaps that I don't understand. And she figures out, like, she finds needle marks from old cases that connect to Dexter and all this shit. And it just, it bothers me. And that's where you get into the last 20 minutes. So at the end of the season, Dexter's come clean to his son because he wants to relate to him, because obviously he has the same urges that his son does. And so they're planning to leave together. They realize they can't stay there anymore because Dexter's gotten too careless and all this other stuff. So they go to leave, and that's when Dexter gets caught. And they kind of have nothing, but they sort of have something, because of all those leaps of her getting to where she got, I guess. And so the last 20 minutes is Harrison points a gun at Dexter and is like, no, this is gonna end. Like, I'm tired of this, and too many innocent people have died because of you and your urge. Which is, like, fine. I called that from the very beginning. I was very fine with that. It's the Dexter killed, I guess, Harrison's wrestling coach to get there. And maybe I'm hyper-focusing on the wrong thing here, but, like, that's what sets him off. And I'm just like, why? You know? I'm like, you really soured what was really good Dexter. Really solid season of Dexter that made me want more. And now I'm kind of so on the whole thing that, like, whatever, man. We didn't need this. It was nice we got it, but I'm also like, we didn't need it. But I have some positives that I want to talk about because I'm here now doing it, so I might as well. In the original show, at the end, Dexter's sister died, and in the show, Dexter always had this manifestation in his head of somebody being the dark passenger, is what he calls it. Like, his urge to kill, it's manifested in the form of somebody. In the original show, it was his father. In the show, it's his dead sister, Deb. And they do some really cool things with it. You get to see, like, her interact with him and, like, be forceful with him and physical. And there's a really neat gag in episode 3 where they're trying to figure out how to get rid of a body in this town, because Dexter had how he used to get rid of bodies he can't do anymore, because he would throw it in the water and it would go off to the Gulf of Mexico. But here the water's all frozen, so they spend a whole episode trying to figure out what to do with this body. Like, I watched it week to week, like, solid episodes. But I guess when you put it all together, it's not as good. And I'm fine if we don't get more, and I hate to say that. I hope they don't announce a Harrison spinoff, because I won't watch it. That's where I'm at. Whatever, guys. Sorry for such a negative one. We'll get something positive soon, I'm sure. Anyways, have a good night.